So since we last did a Celtic pod, LASK Linz have been drawn against Celtic, the Austrian champions. Now, you look at what Sturm Graz did to Hearts. They obviously came second in the Austrian Bundesliga. This isn't going to be an easy game. Obviously, champions from Austria won the Austrian title for the first time in 61 years last season. But look, without being disrespectful, without being complacent, if Celtic can't get past LASK Linz over two legs, they've really got no business being in the Champions League. That's how I would see it anyway.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Dan. Spot on. A Celtic with a draw last in the Champions League league phase or Europa League phase, you'd be looking at that as a fixture where the Celtic should be getting 3 points there. So for me, I get it. There's a bit of the Celtic fans are fearful of the qualifiers, given the record in them in over the last decade and even longer. They don't have a great record of progressing past the playoffs into the old group stages, but now the league phase. So yeah, you can understand why there's genuine fear and concern there. But yeah, I think while we rightly say they're the Austrian champions, and I know that RB Salzburg, for example, are it's in the name. They're heavily backed. They've got a lot of money behind them, and they managed to topple them home and away last season. And they obviously beat a very good Sturm Graz side to the Austrian title as well. So they are a dangerous opponent. They're a tricky opponent, and even though Celtic were a seeded side, luck hasn't really fallen in their favour when it comes to home advantage, because they're obviously playing the second leg away from home as well. So that hasn't really worked against them. That hasn't really worked out for them in that sense. So it just adds more kind of pressure on Celtic to go over there with a decent margin and get a decent first leg home win. And again, to do that, you're going to have to add quality, and you can't just be adding quality 24 hours before that game. They need to be in the door, and they need to have been up and running, been adjusted to their new environment, be settled into the squad, and hopefully have a game or two under the belt. So this is why it's just crucial. People talk about weeks, but I think these coming days are just crucially important for Celtic to get signings over the line. I really do. And I think they've only got two more games before the first Champions League qualifier at home to last. So the time is really ticking, Dan. We're 2 months into the window. We've got less than a month to go until the window shuts. So time is really running out, and yeah, you'd expect Celtic to, as always, on paper, Celtic will go into the game and into the tie as red hot favourites. But we've seen this movie so many times before. Carrete Almaty, I'm pretty sure the Celtic team and fans will still have scars from that whole episode last year. So you just don't really know, to be honest. You just don't know how it's going to pan out. But if they can get some signings in the door, then you'd like to think they would have a real good chance of qualifying, and hopefully they'll be able to do it with a wee bit to spare.
Yeah, absolutely. Austrian champions, but they only finished with 4 points in their Conference League group last season. So, look, who knows what to expect. But as I say, I'll stand by my initial comment that if Celtic can't get by them, they don't deserve to be in the competition. But I guess we'll see.